Hello, children. Today we are going to see about the chapter Is Matter Around Us Pure? Okay, part 5. So, last class we learned about pure substances and mixtures. Okay, in the pure substance we have elements and compounds. Okay, and we can see about little later elements. What is mean by elements? What are compounds? Okay, now and we read about mixtures. Mixtures are two types, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. And homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures are having different kinds of solution, that is true solution, colloidal solution and suspension. Understood? So today we are going to see about separating the components of a mixture. Okay, separating the components of a mixture. So we have learned that most of the natural substances are not chemically pure. Yes or no? Yes. So different methods of separations are used to get individual components from a mixture. So we are having different kinds of methods to separate the things. Okay, for example, now dal plus rice. Okay, in one bowl. How we with what we can, with hand we can we can separate the components mixes. Yes or no? Yes. And tea powder with milk, what we will get? Tea we will get. Okay, with the help of filtration we can separate the tea powder with from the milk. Yes or no? And like that, so many methods can hand picking, sieving, winnowing. Okay, so many methods we have for separate the individual compounds from a mixture. Understood, children? Okay, so here separation make it possible to study and use the individual components of a mixture. Now here, heterogeneous mixtures can be separated into their respective constituents by simple physical method like hand picking, sieving, filtration that we use in our day life. Okay, in our daily life. Okay, sometimes we are using some special techniques have to be used for the separation of compounds of a mixture. Now we are going to see about the special techniques. What are the special techniques we are using to separation of the components of a mixture? Understood? Now we are going to see the techniques. Okay, what are the special techniques we are using to separate by simple components of mixtures? Okay, so simple method means hand picking, sieving, filtration, etc. I told you. Yes or no? And special techniques means that is evaporation, centrifugation, decantation means using separating funnel we are using for decantation, sublimation, centrifugation, chromatography, and distillation and fractional distillation. Okay, distillation and fractional distillation. So these are the special techniques are used to separate the components of mixtures. Okay, so what are the things? Evaporation, centrifugation, decantation, sublimation, centrifugation, chromatography, distillation and fractional distillation. Okay, one by one we can see now. First one we are going to see about evaporation. So everybody know about evaporation. Okay, so what is mean by evaporation? So we are uh, this method is used for separating a volatile component means solvent from a non-volatile components solute by heating the mixture. So while heating what will happen? Evaporation. So we can see the vapors. Evaporation. So for example, if we are boiling water, we can see the water vapor. No, vapors. Okay. Yes. So that method is called as evaporation. Okay. So with this help, with this we can separate some components. Okay. For example, solvent. Solvent means what? What we are that is a water. Solute means what? Solution. Okay. Sugar means solvent. That is solute means water. So sugar solution we will get. Okay. So with this so now we can do one small activity. We have to take one small stove or one burner and one stand and one beaker, one watch glass. Okay, that is on a small china dish like. Okay, and we are going to take here ink, blue or black ink. Okay, now we have to start heating. So continue heating as the evaporation goes on, and stop heating when you do not see any further changes on the watch glass. When you heat continuously, what will happen here? Evaporation will happen. Here the water molecules will not be there, only the dye will be dye will be remain. Okay, either blue or black or red or green, whatever color, what color ink you put, that one. Understood, children? So here, that with the ink, what is a, it is a mixture of dye and water. Any other color is not a problem. It is a mixture of dye. It is a mixture of dye and water. Okay, if some ink is heated in a dish, the water evaporates and the dye is left in the dish. Okay, we are not adding inside the water, but we are keeping upon the beaker. While heating, this heat will hit here, and the water will evaporate and the ink will remain. Understood? So similarly, we can separate a mixture of salt and water or sugar and water by evaporation techniques. So we are using NaCl. NaCl means what? Sodium chloride. For what purpose we are using, children? We are using for what? For taste we are using. Yes or no? For taste we are using in the food items. Okay, for cooking we are using NaCl, sodium chloride. So how we are getting? With the help of this evaporation techniques only. Okay, from seawater we have a lot of techniques they have. Okay, after that only we are getting the salt. Understood? So this method used for separating solvent from a solute by heating the mixture. While heating the mixture, what we will get? We can separate the solvent separate and solute separate. Understood, children? So this technique is called as evaporation. Okay, so here from this activity, what we can conclude it? We can conclude that ink is a mixture of dye in water. Thus, we can separate the volatile component, means solvent, from its non-volatile, that means solute, by the method of evaporation. So by the method of evaporation, what are the components we can make it separate? From the volatile component to non-volatile components. Understood? Next we are going to see about centrifugation. Okay, centrifugation. So this method of separating components, denser particles and lighter particles from a mixture by using a centrifugation machine is called centrifugation. Okay, we have one centrifugation machine. Okay, this is a machine, children. Okay, this is a machine. We can see the laboratory, this one. Okay, so from the heavier means what? Denser means what? Heavier particles and lighter particles from a mixture. So what will happen now? If we are taking here one sample, the lighter particle will come up and the heavier particle will go down. Okay, so with this help, with this we can separate the uh, blood. Okay, we have platelets, RBC, WBC, plasma, limbs, everything present inside our blood. We can separate with the help of centrifugation. Understood, children? So this method of separating denser particles and lighter particles from a mixture by using a centrifugation machine is called centrifugation. Okay, so here nowadays we get full green, toned and double tone varieties of milk packed in poly packets or tetra packets in the market, isn't it? Yes. So these varieties of milk contain different amounts of fat. Now we can see one small activity that we have to take some full cream milk. Okay. And we have to take in a test tube. Okay. So this is a equipment we have to put inside only test tube. Understood, children? So here centrifuge it by using a centrifuging machine for 2 minutes. So we have to put inside the test tube. We have to take a cream milk, full cream milk, and put inside that, and 2 minutes we have to keep inside the centrifuge machine. If your centrifuge machine is not available in the school with us, we can do this activity at home by using milk churner. Okay, so with the help of churner we can separate cheese separate, butter separate, or ghee also we can get it na. Yes, so used in the kitchen, we can use in the kitchen also. I think many houses they can separate curd from the sorry, cheese from the milk, or ghee, everything. So if you are going to village, your grandparents will do, I think so. Okay. Okay. So if you have a milk dairy nearby, visit it and ask how they separate cream milk and how they make cheese from the milk. So no need to go for the that and all. Here we have dairy, this one. After reopen the school, we can do it. Okay, we can ask permission and we can go and see how they are how they are making cheese from the milk, and how they are separating cream from the milk. Understood, children? Okay, so now what do you observe on churning the milk? Okay, when we are churning, no, by the time what you will get, what you can observe. Okay, so we can observe that the solid particles in a liquid are very small and pass through a filter paper, isn't it? Yes. So we can see the heavier particle down, and we can see the lighter particle up. Okay. So like when while churning, we can get that heavier particles will go down, and lighter particle will come up. Then we can collect it. Is that no? So this principle is that the denser particle are forced to the bottom, and the lighter particles stay at the top when churn rapidly. Okay, I will use continuously. Okay, now what are the uses of centrifugation? Centrifugation is used in diagnostic laboratories for blood and urine test. Okay, I told you. Okay, blood and urine test for the diagnostic laboratories they are using, and used in dairies and home to separate butter from cream. Okay, and used in washing machine to squeeze out water from wet cloths. So washing machine also, with the help of that centrifugation, okay, that force only, okay, centrifugation only, it will squeeze out water from wet cloth. Understood? So one is sublimation. So this one already we read up very clearly last class also. Yes or no? The first chapter we learned. Okay. So with the help camphor. Okay, camphor or ammonium chloride we have to take, and we have to crush it, and we have to put in the china dish, and we have to invert the funnel, and we have to keep like this, and while we have to start heating. By the time what happened, the ammonium chloride means this vapors will go and uh, touch near the funnel. Okay, then we can separate the two things. Okay, ammonium separate, chloride separate. Understood, children? So ammonium chloride vapors will come while heating, and ammonium chloride solidified we will get. So by this method, so we can change of state directly from solid to gas without changing into liquid state is called sublimation. So we are not going to change the uh, we are not going to change in the gaseous state. Okay, we are change the liquid state. It is directly from the solid to gaseous state. Okay, like this we can mix. We can separate the mixtures. Okay. So the sublimation means what? This method is used to separate a mixture of a sublimable component from a non-sublimal compound by heating the mixture. So for example, what I told you, if a mixture of ammonium chloride and common salt is heated, the ammonium chloride sub sublimates and can be cooled and solidified and collected, and salt is left behind. So here the salt will left and we can get the ammonium here. Okay, so ammonium chloride, that is ammonium separate, chloride separate we can get. Understood? So it is directly from solid to gaseous state. That changes is called as sublimation. Understood? Next one is how we can separate the immiscible liquids. Okay, with the help of decantation. Decantation using separating funnel. Okay, so this is a this one separate separation, this one flask like this. Okay, so here we two liquids. If we take a mixture of kerosene oil and water in a separating funnel, so this is a separating funnel. Now it forms a separate layers of oil and water. So after finishing it, what happen after pouring mixer kerosene plus water, what will get? The kerosene will separate and the water will separate. Then what we can do? We can, with the help of cork, we can collect the water first and we can collect the kerosene later. Okay, so this is called as decantation. So this method is used for separating a mixture of immiscible liquids. What is meant by immiscible liquids? Mixed with water. Oil mixed with water, diesel mixed with water, or petroleum mixed with water. Okay, so with the help of this, we can separate the different layers depending on their densities. According to the densities, we can separate the mixture. For example, now three kind of solutions for three kind of mixtures: water, kerosene, petrol. So this is very less, okay, compared to kerosene, and if you, that petrol will come up. So like this we can separate the mixtures from with the help of this decantation method. Okay, with the help of separating funnel. Okay, decantation using separating funnel. Understood? So this technique is called as chromatography. Okay, so what is mean by chromatography? Chromatography method is used for separating colored components from a liquid by using a filter paper or plotting paper. So everybody know about the filter paper, like that only plotting paper also very thin. Okay, with the help of that we can separate the colored components. Okay, for example, put a drop of ink near one end of a strip. Okay, and a strip of the filter paper and dip in the end of the paper in a test tube containing water. So, okay, now the ink is a mixture is two or more colored components. Okay, the component which is more soluble in water rises faster and gets separated. See, we can see that. So they added, we don't know that we have to mix with some colors, so many colors. What are the colors you need? First you have to mix all the colors, and only one small drop you have to keep in the filter paper, and you have to dip in this water. By the time what we will get, we can, the colors we can, colors will separate like this. See, red, blue, green, yellow, like this separated. No, like this we can get it. Okay, so this chromatography techniques we can separate of dyes in dyes. Okay, separation of dyes. Okay, for separation of dyes we can use chromatography. Next technique is distillation. Okay, simple distillation. We have fractional distillation and simple distillation. Okay, so simple distillation, how we can, what is the meaning of it? It is a separation of two miscible liquids by distillation. So two miscible means what? Mixed. So for example, here this is a distillation flask. Okay, this is a distillation flask. This is a water outlet. This is a water condenser. Okay, from this, here one thermometer we fixed, and here water plus acetone, two mixtures is there, water plus acetone. Now with the help of this decantation distillation method, we can separate the acetone separate and water separate. Okay, after heat what happen, we have to keep the thermometer here. So we have to see that. Okay, so the acetone which has a lower boiling point than water, so the first boils and cools and condenses and is separated from the water. So compared to water, acetone is having very less boiling point. Okay, so while slowly heating, what happen, the acetone will get boiled and immediately it will go separate and water will separate. So we can separate two miscible liquids by distillation. So this is a equipments. Okay, next one is fractional distillation. So what is mean by fractional distillation? So distillation method, miscible liquids we can separate. Okay, first the lesser boiling point thing will separate, after that another one. So here it is used for separating a mixture of two or more miscible liquids, okay, whose difference is boiling point is less than 25 Kelvin, less than 25 Kelvin. So here only one change. What you know here, distillation flask is there, water outlet, water condenser, beaker, conical flask, thermometer, everything is there. But only one thing we have, fractionating column we have. Okay, this is a additional one. Okay, distillation and fraction distillation, this is a one different. Others all same. Okay, so while drawing also you have to remember, distillation we don't have a fractionating column. Okay, so the fractional distillation used for separating a mixture of two or more miscible liquids whose difference in boiling points is less than 25 Kelvin. Understood. So the apparatus used for fractional distillation is similar to that used for simple distillation, except that fractionating column is fitted between the distillation flask and the condenser. Understood? Okay. So the fractionating column has glass beds which increase the surface for the vapors to cool and condense. Okay, and fractional distillation is used for separating the components of petroleum, separating the different gases from air, etc. Okay, so already I told you air is a homogeneous mixture. Yes or no? Air is a homogeneous mixture. And okay, so here see air is there. Okay, so air is a homogeneous mixture and can be separated into its components by fractional fractional distillation. Okay, the here see one small flow chart I gave you. Here air is there, after compress or cool by increasing pressure and decreasing temperature. So we are increasing the pressure and decreasing the temperature. By the time it become a liquid air, and we are allowing to warm up slowly in the fractional distillation column. Okay, so by the time what happened, the gas get separated at different levels. Okay, boiling points of it is in the Celsius scale. Oxygen 183 minus 183 temperature, by the time we will get oxygen. Okay, and argon 1 minus 186 we will get, and nitrogen 196 minus 196 degree Celsius we will get this. We can separate those things. So oxygen will be present in our air 21 percentage, nitrogen 78 percentage, argon 0.9 percentage, means inert gases. Okay, carbon dioxide 0.03 percentage. Next we are going to see about pure substances. Okay, pure substances, types of pure substances. So here till now we were reading about how we can separating the constituents from a mixture. Okay, so two or three are miscible things or immiscible things, how we can separate. Okay, with the help of some special techniques like centrifugation, chromatography, evaporation, sublimation, okay, etc. So now we are going to see about the pure substance of types of pure substances. So pure substance can be divided into elements and compound. Okay, elements and compound. So here you see uh, that elements means it is a basic form of matter which cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reactions. Okay, so the elements cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reactions. Elements are of three types. They are metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Okay, they are metals, non-metals, and semi-metals. Semi-metals means what? Either metals characters and non-metals characters should be in the metalloids. Okay, for example, so elements means what? Sorry, metals. Everybody know about it. No, see what is this? So gold. Okay, so what is this? Copper bangle. So these are the metals. Okay, these are the metals. Okay, and so here properties of metals, they have luxure and they are malleable and ductile, so only we can make a bangles like this. Okay, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity, so only we are using copper wire for the electricity, silver wire we are using. Okay, and they are sonorous. If you put down, we will get sound. Okay, we will get sound. For example, iron, aluminum, zinc, mercury, copper, silver, gold, etc. Understood? Now, non-metals. Non-metals do not have any luxure. They are not malleable and ductile. Okay, and it will be pencil. I am showing to you. So inside graphite is there. That is a non-metal, but it is a good conductor of electricity. But other non-metals are not good conductor of electricity and heat. Okay, for example, iron, aluminium. Okay, uh sorry hydrogen, oxygen, iodine, carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, everything will come under the non-metals. Okay, graphite also will come under the non-metals, but it is a good conductor except graphite. Others all not good conductor of electricity, but graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Okay, and next one is proper metalloids. Metalloids means we have that metal character also, and as well as non-metal characters also in that. For example, silicon. So we can see the medicine box. Okay, so costly medicine box, inside one small packet will be there. So silicon, a small ball like structure, that is small packet. So that is it is very poisonous. Okay, but they will use for preventing germs. Okay, that medicine should not spoil, for that they will put in that box. Okay, so boron, silicon, germanium, etc are the metalloids. Understood? Next one is compound. So it is a substance compared to two or more elements chemically combined together in a fixed ratio. For example, now water, water H2O. So what we can do, H2O means what? Molecular formula of water. So see, molecular formula of water, H2O. Okay, so in that H, how many proportion we have? Hydrogen 2, oxygen 1. So then only we can say that is water. Okay, same carbon dioxide, CO2. So one molecule of carbon and two molecules of oxygen, carbon dioxide. Understood, children? So it is having a particular ratio, fixed ratio. We cannot change that. For example, water, carbon dioxide, sugar, salt, sulfur, iron sulfide, etc. Okay, so these are the pure substances types. Okay, types of pure substances. Now we are going to see about the last position, that is differences between mixture and compounds. Okay, differences between mixture and compound. What are the differences between mixtures and compounds? See children, so mixture, it is composed of two or more elements or compounds mixed together. Here it is composed of two or more elements chemically combined together. Here two or more elements or compounds mixed together. Here two or more elements chemically combined together. So now after this we are going to see about physical, what is mean by physical change, what is mean by chemical change. Understood children? Okay. Now you see, all of you see. Yes, the composition of the components, it is any ratio. For example, any ratio, it will be, we cannot tell that we any ratio. But here the composition of the components is in a fixed ratio. Water means H2O, H hydrogen molecules 2 and one molecule of oxygen. Carbon dioxide means CO2, carbon is 1 and oxygen is 2 proportion. Okay, we cannot change that. Okay, now it shows the properties of the components. It will show the properties of compound, but it shows different properties than the components. Understood? It will show the different properties than the component, but it will show only the properties of the components. Okay, and the components can be separated by physical methods, but this one can be separated by chemical methods. So these are the different differences between mixtures and compounds. Okay, now we can see about what is meant by physical change, what is meant by chemical change. So now physical and chemical changes. Okay, physical and chemical changes. Chemical changes. Physical and chemical changes. So physical change means, so the change brings about the same thing. See for example, under suitable condition. So for example, see, we are going to wash our cloth. Okay, so we are going to wash our cloth. So when we put inside the water, what will happen? It become wet. No, after that we will take out and we will put for dry. Yes or no? Under the sunlight. After some hours, we can see that dry cloth we can get. Then we will fold and we will keep inside the bureau. Yes or no? Yes. And their color will not change. The cloth color will not change. The cloth size will not change. Any changes will happen? No, no changes. So that kind of changes are called as physical changes. Okay, only few minutes some changes will happen in that. It is a reversible change. So how we are putting inside, like that only we are getting output. How we are putting input, like that only we are getting output. Understood? So it is a reversible change. It is a reversible change. Understood? But chemical change not like this. So A is a product plus B also one product. This A plus B combined together we will get AB, new product. So here no new product, but here we will get new product. Understood? For example, hydrogen plus oxygen gives what? We will get water. That is a chemical change. Okay, and some some more examples I will tell you. Uh, Conversion of milk into curd. Conversion of milk into curd. That also one good example. For example, that we are keeping some milks and we are adding some vinegar in that. Okay, we are here one little milk we have and we are adding some vinegar or acetic acid or lemon or anything. Within a few hours, it become curd. Yes or no? It become curd. How? With the help of some bacteria. So here some chemical changes happen. Again, from curd to milk we never get. We never get. Yes or no? So we got a new thing. We added some acid with milk. Okay. we got a new thing like curd. That is called as chemical changes. For another one example, wood. If we are burning, okay, so if you are going to village, you can see the wooden stoves. Yes or no? If you are keeping in that, what will happen, children? That wood will burn. After that, we will get ash. That is a new product. We are not getting again the same wood. Yes or no? Yes. So this is called as chemical changes. Understood? Now we are going to see about the differences between chemical change and physical change. Now we are going to see about the differences between physical and chemical changes. Okay, so physical change always it is temporary in nature, but that is a permanent nature. Here it will be easily reversed. There it cannot be easily reversed. Okay, and here the physical properties of substances will change, but here physical and chemical properties will change. And here new substance will not form. Here new substance will form, and here are the identities of the substances do not change, but here it will change. And the energy normally does not occur, but here some energy we need to convert the chemical energy, chemical substance. And here the mass of the substance does not change, but here the mass of the substance does change. Okay, so here some examples of the physical and chemical change. So here conversion of milk into curd, that is a chemical physical change, or that one, that is a chemical change. Burning of magnesium ribbon in air, that is a chemical change. Rusting of iron nails, chemical change. Dissolving water in salt in water, that is a physical change. We can get salt again, so we can get water also separate. Okay, and burning of food, burning of coal, that is a chemical change. Electrolysis of sodium chloride solution by passing current, that is a physical change. Crystallization of copper sulfate, that is a physical change. Okay, so electrolysis of sodium chloride solution by passing current, that is a chemical change. Understood, children? So these are the some examples of physical and chemical changes. This chapter over, children. So what are the main things we learned in this chapter is we learned about pure substances. What are pure substances and types of pure substances, that is elements, compounds. And from the elements we are getting, we have three types: metals, non-metals, metalloids. And components, inorganic components and organic components. Okay, and mixtures we saw homogeneous and heterogeneous. The homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures can be divided into three solutions, that is true solutions, colloidal solutions and suspensions. Understood? Under the suspension, we read about Tyndall effect. Okay, so these all those things we read under the matter. Okay, so classworks I will send you soon. Read this lesson. Okay, then only you get know. It is not difficult. It will be very easy, children. Hope everyone understood this chapter. Okay, thank you.